Hi, my name is Kristin Whitesides, and I'm going to read the story I wrote called Lucy Loved Books. Lucy loved books. She loved holding them, flipping through them, and looking at all the beautiful pictures in them. She looked at books in her bedroom, on the couch, in the car, at school, and even outside. Lucy just loved her books. Lucy also loved when people read books to her. She loved when her mommy read to her in her bed. She loved when her daddy sat on the couch to read with her. She loved when her teacher read to the whole class. And she loved when she got to sit on her teacher's lap while she read to just her. Lucy loved listening to books. Lucy worked really hard on listening when somebody read her a story. She learned that the character is the person in the story. Lucy wanted to learn all about the characters. She wanted to know who they were, all of the fun adventures that they went on, and how they felt. Lucy even felt like she was in the story with the characters if she listened closely. One day at the library, Lucy saw a bigger kid reading one of her favorite books out loud. "Why can't I read my favorite books?" Lucy asked her mommy. "You'll learn how to read someday, Lucy, but that girl is much older than you are. We can start to work on learning some letters, though, and you'll learn how to read in no time," her mommy explained. Lucy knew that she wanted to learn how to read. Lucy started learning how to find her name. She found her name on her cubby at school, on her door at home, on her papers. Lucy found her name everywhere. Once she could find her name, she started learning the letters that were in her name. Soon she could say every letter that was in her name, and she could read her name. She was definitely going to be reading soon. At school, Lucy learned a new letter each week, and she learned that they each make a different sound. Lucy loved naming the different letters that are found in her favorite books. When she would read with Mommy, she would point out every L that she saw and make the OL sound. She was getting the hang of her letters. Lucy learned that you can sound out each letter of a word and put them together in order to read the word. Before long, Lucy was reading words like cat, hat, dog, and frog. She even learned what rhyming words are and how they have the same sound at the end. This made reading short stories even more fun. The more that Lucy tried to sound out the words, the better she got, and the more she was able to read. It didn't take long at all for Lucy to be able to read her very first book out loud. Then she moved on to longer, trickier stories. Sometimes there were words that she didn't know, but that was okay, because Mommy, Daddy, or her teacher could help her sound out the tricky ones. Once she could read, Lucy read every book she could get her hands on. She read short stories, long stories, funny stories, serious stories, and stories with songs in them. Lucy loved them all because Lucy loves her books, and now she loves to read her books herself. The end. In writing this story, I really didn't have any problems with the storyline itself. I'm a nanny for a 5 and a 9-year-old, and I've been there the whole time the 5-year-olds learned how to read. So for me, it's been really exciting to watch her go through this process and to go from barely reading any words to reading pretty tricky books on her own. So the story was kind of loosely based on her reading adventure. But the part that hung me up a little bit was the illustrations. I'm not an artist, and so I worried about how I was going to get the pictures done and honestly put writing the story off for a little bit because of the pictures. And then I decided to look at some stock photos and was able to find stock photos of girls that looked similar throughout the story but were in different situations. So I'm pretty happy with how it came out. And just hope that this story can be used to encourage children who want to learn how to read but aren't quite there yet, and to kind of give some purpose to some of those other literacy activities you may be doing with children, like the letters of their name or learning the sounds of the letters, to help them understand that when you put all this together, soon you'll be able to read the book on your own. So this was a fun experience to kind of write my own story. I tried to write it. I'm not a gifted enough author to write it in the sing-songy way that I like to read books in, but I tried to write it in a way that was very easy for children to understand, anywhere from about the age of 3 to 5, understanding how all of the things they do can be put together to help them learn how to read and to help them learn to love books. I think that's one of the best things we can teach children is to love reading. because reading will take them far in life, as we all know. Thank you so much for listening to my story.